First one right here. And I don't even have it queued up. By the way, I should say I'm here with Nate. Did I say Nate? I'm going to start over. I'm so sorry, Nate.
It was like, Nate? Which one's that?
I'm here with Noah and Jason. Let's go. The first one. Stop being good after the first season. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I think that's pretty lukewarm.
I mean, is that really an unpopular opinion, or is it just...
Yes.
You think so?
It's either an unpopular opinion or a terrible opinion.
I think it's just a basic opinion, in my opinion.
It's not very creative.
More often than not...
That's something that people say...
More often than not, people treat the first season of Total Drama kind of like the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob, where it's like, it was good here, and then after that, it kind of starts to go downhill.
Yeah,
that's what I've been seeing.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to that, a good percent of people that I've talked with personally has always said that, yeah, I think Total Drama Island is the best one out of all of them because it was a little bit more simple.
There's 7 installments of Total Drama if you take out Dramarama.
Which is the best one.
The top 3 seasons, by most people, if you will like survey every single person that's like a big into the show, the top 3 seasons are 9 times out of 10 Island, World Tour, and Redonkulous Race. So to say that it gets progressively worse from the end of it, it can't be true whenever you have seasons far after it that are considered the best. A lot of people consider Redonkulous Race the best. A lot of people consider World Tour the best. A lot of people consider Island the best. Personally, I think Island's the best, but I don't think that means that it got worse after that. I just think that Island was so good that all of the other seasons that were also really good just feel like they weren't as good because they were being held to a really high pedestal like Island, because Island being so
That's
good.
a really good point. They would be held to a high standard if the first season is really good.
This is so against the rules.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
Hey, why don't you just chill out?
Why don't you dodge this?
Ow!
Heather is an actually tolerable character.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with it as well. I feel like with especially with the first 3 seasons of the Total Drama series, there was a gradual, consistent arc with her, of her growing to becoming a huge jerk that just wanted to find a way to screw everyone over, to a genuine contestant that really fought well to make it to the final 2, and depending on where you live, ended up winning it all in the end.
Okay, so there's 2 people that arguably have the greatest redemption arcs in Total Drama history. You have Heather, and then Jeff is the other one, from going from World Tour to Redonkulous Race. But Heather is probably one of the biggest fan favorites. I mean, she's a wildly popular character among the community. So I definitely...
That's what I've seen.
So I think that the unpopular opinion would be that she is intolerable. Because a lot of people feel like, you know, that she actually is a really tolerable character. And a lot of people like a good antagonist, and that's Heather.
Yeah, that's what I've always seen it as. Like, someone had to be the antagonist. Someone had to be the person who wanted to win more than everyone else and was willing to like step over people to do it. Someone had to be that, because that's a common thing in reality shows.
Yeah, and with the fact that as each season went on, she became less of that and to be actually a character that we can root for at the end. So really having that gradual build really made her one of the more likable characters overall, and see her as a more tolerable one to deal with.
Guys are much stronger and better at sports than girls are. Oh snap! He did not just say that!
Ezekiel should have won, LOL.
I mean...
Which season? Island?
I mean, if we're talking about Island, he kind of really made... he didn't make a good impact. I mean...
I'll tell you what, he said some things that if they wrote that in 2019, they would probably get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, if they wrote it today, it wouldn't air today.
Enjoy a peanut butter less life.
Thanks. Enjoy prison.
I will.
Alright, I don't think I could have avoided this, so a lot of the ships weren't really all that great. Whenever a good one came around, it would often end badly. Take my top 2 ships, Ozzy, Owen and Izzy, and Gwunkin, Gwen and Duncan. Awesome chemistry, but was thrown out the window for comedy purposes.
Okay, Owen and Izzy. I love Owen and Izzy. I think that they're great. And they lasted a while. I mean, they went all the way to World Tour. As for Gwen and Duncan, I'm a Dunkney guy. I love Duncan and Courtney. For those of you who don't know, Gwen and Duncan, the only reason why Duncan and Courtney broke up was because the network wanted to see Gwen and Duncan together because they thought that it would work better.
Yes, on paper, if you don't know anything about the characters, you would think that Gwen and Duncan would work, but no.
For me personally, the idea that Gwen and Duncan had better chemistry than Duncan and Courtney. I just don't think that that's accurate. For me personally, to say that Gwen and Duncan was a good ship, I would disagree because I gotta go Duncan and Courtney.
Ooh, I'm about to go in.
Floor is yours.
All right, so of course, I think we're all in agreement. Owen and Izzy, you can't get anything better than that. Their chemistry is great. Can't go anything wrong with that. Duncan x Gwen ruined both of the characters for me, mainly because of the fact that it, like as you said, Noah, that it just felt extremely forced and unnecessary to the core. It just doesn't make any sense to me because it just felt like, even though I'm not really a big Trent fan myself because he seemed like a very bland character, he did really compared with Gwen well, and I did think that it was something that you could probably build onto to make Trent an interesting character if you want them to break up at some point.
Awesome. Huh.
I think that the animation is really bad.
Who said that? Call him out.
Well, I'm sure
Ransom Glenn. Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate. When you're talking about season 1, there's quite a bit of moments where they do reuse the animation, and to that I will say, to be fair, first seasons don't necessarily get the biggest budgets. The one that always sticks out the clearest to me was in Dodge Brawl. I believe it was Heather who threw the canoe onto Tyler, but like they cut away from it, so like she throws it and then they cut to Tyler already in it.
See, I can understand with the season 1 as well. My biggest one will be, I believe it was actually the very first episode, I think, Not So Happy Campers. I don't know if it was like they had to like redo the line of some sorts to make sure to censor it for the kids in Cartoon Network. When Chris was like, wow, that's a shocker, you can clearly see that it was like a huge desync with what Chris was actually saying. So it just seemed like very weird and awkward and just off.
A lot of that had to do with the terrible censorship that Total Drama underwent. A lot of really basic words, they were censored. One of the main things that comes to mind, well, I guess two of them in Not So Happy Campers, whenever Owen's getting ready to jump off of the hill, the original line is,
I'm going to die now. I'm going to frickin' die now.
They didn't like frickin', so they changed it to, I'm going to die now. I am totally gonna die now. And it was very awkward and it just didn't sound right. So a lot of that had to do with, Cartoon Network, specifically in the US, just terribly censoring all of it. But now going for the actual animation aspect of it, this is not Thundercats 2011. It's not a huge action show. You don't need this special animation for it. So to have Flash on it, perfectly fine. I think Steven Universe would work just great in Flash, I'm gonna be honest. So to say that the animation is really bad, I feel like is just, you're asking for a lot out of a 2007 cartoon show that was from Canada.
From Total Drama Island going into where it is now, I feel like that it was very smooth from what it was. I mean, the Flash animation, which of course isn't really one of the most favorable from what I've seen from the cartoon community, but for what budget it had and what they've been able to build off of, I thought it did really well.
Anyways, guys, yep, that was our unpopular opinions. If yours didn't get read out, that's because there were literally hundreds of these. Please follow Jason and Noah. I'll put their social medias in the description below. And until next time, guys, take care. Alpha out.